So the second place, sorry I cut off there I think, so the second place we went to, excuse me, was the Old Hoke House. This was with Fright Nights, and this is West Bromwich. It's £49 each, and it was 8 till 12. This place, it was so spooky because it was a black and white building. By the way, you need to wrap up warm when you go on ghost hunts because most of them have no heating and they're like derelict. So you do need nice warm clothes and a torch. Anyway, so this one is black and white building. I think it's open now. I think it's like a little, like a museum-y kind of place. It's quite small. It's black and white, like a spooky feeling. So we went to the base room where you have your talk, your chat, and then we had a walk round, like a tour. And in this one room, I got the feeling like I was really dizzy and felt sick in. So all I could feel when I was walking around. And then base room again, had a cup of coffee and a biscuit, split up. No we didn't, had a cup of coffee, and then we walked round on our own to investigate on our own, so you could call out like on your own when you're walking around on your own, which does get spooky when you're on your own and nobody else is there. Very spooky. And then we went back to the base, split up into two groups. First of all, we was downstairs, and we was in this room. A girl felt like, we was all holding hands and calling out, and the girl felt like before that you had your protection and your grounding. A girl felt something on her shoulder, and then we swapped sides, so I was then where this girl was and I had a pain in my shoulder blade. And then we heard, nothing else happened, we're still holding hands, and we heard like people coming down the stairs, and like the medium said, oh, it's the other group coming down the stairs, like to come in here, so we can go upstairs. Okay, so we ended up there, walked through the door, and there was nobody there. It was time for them to come down, but nobody had come down them stairs. We asked, nobody come down the stairs, so that was freaky. So then we went upstairs and we did a Ouija board. Well, it was like a table, I think it had a yes, no on there, and numbers. No, I think it just had numbers, not yes and no, it just had numbers. You put this glass on and you hold it with your one finger and you ask it questions. So we was asking questions, are you female? If so, there was like a red light there. If so, go to the red light on the board. So it went to the red light. We was getting some good stuff. It got a woman come through. She said she hung herself on the banister just outside the room on the landing. So we asked if we could go out there and do it. So she said yeah, fine. And then we got this other person. We went through all the alphabet, and she said her name began with an M. So we went through all these names. It wasn't moving, and then the bloke we was with on the table said Mandy, and I went straight to Mandy. And that seems a strange name for like ghost hunting, Mandy. It's not the kind of name you hear like years ago. And we asked, yes, she died there. She had 4 children. They were all 4 boys. And then we said, where are you standing? And it went straight to Philip, because Philip was over there. It went straight to Philip. And then Philip goes, I got pain in my shoulder blade. Are you the one giving me this pain? And it went straight to him. We asked how old she was, and it went to 6. 6 and 6. Which did, even thinking about that now, I don't know if you can see, I have got goose pimples. Even thinking about that now, that is terrifying, because that's meant to be the devil, which I don't even believe there is a devil. Believe in ghosts, but I don't think there's any such thing as the devil. But that did freak me out. I kept asking her other questions, but no, she just kept going 666 all the time, like she was trying to scare us. And then nothing else happened there. That was the end of the night then. So that was the old oak house in West Bromwich. And that was with Fright Nights. Then the third one was with Eerie Evenings, and this one was at Dudley Castle. Eerie Evenings, this is going to be the first one and the last one we go to with Eerie Evenings. I don't want to say anything bad because I might get on trouble on here, but I don't think I'll be going to an Eerie Evening one again. If you want to know why or whatever, then just send me a message and I'll tell you. So we went to Dudley Castle. It was £45 each, and it was 8 till 3 PM, and my mum came with us on this one, so that was good. So same again, we had a walk, there was a base room, we had a drink, a walk round the castle, and they're telling you things that happened there and what people would see sometimes and so forth. And then we went into this other, it was like a big room, it had loads of chairs in. I think it was like a chapel or something, so I like church things in there. And on this one it was a reading, so there was like a psychic medium on the stage, and she was bringing people's relatives through and so forth. That was good. She didn't say nothing about like our relatives, mine and mum's, like Nan and Grandad, and of course it'd be mum's mum and dad. Nothing came through on that, but everything that come through with the other people there, it was really, really good, and they were saying what they were saying was true, like. And then we got split up into groups. As I say, Mum was with us. We went into this room, we had EMF readers. These things were, it's like a gun, and then you can see on it the temperature. Philip had one of them, I had an EMF, and nothing was happening with mine. Philip's, he had, it's like the temperature was going up and down quite a lot. We were calling out, heard a few bangs and a funny noise between me and Philip. Asking out, but nothing really happening. There's a couple of bangs, I think. And we walked into another room. We all asked out, nothing was happening. So we was all holding hands and calling out, and that's when Mum said somebody just touched me on the shoulder. Which did freak her out, I think, by the way she said it. So then we asked it to happen to somebody else, but it didn't happen, and it didn't happen to Mum again. And then we did table tipping in there. This was good. It was doing what we was asking it to do, but it was really moving. We stopped for a minute, and then you could hear footsteps. Everybody else was still, but you could hear footsteps in the room, which was kind of freaky. We was asking the table to like go on one leg, so it ended up on one leg. We was telling it to spin, and it was spinning us round. I think it was a couple of children, I think, that died there that was doing that. So that was good. It's usually the kids you get like I don't know, they're like, do more what you say, like they like prattling about, and I don't know, it's like they was trying to make you dizzy when the table was going around, and that was really good. And then we went back to base, another drink and biscuits, and then the end vigil we did we do then? Oh, the planchette. It's like you get the Ouija board, you've got a Ouija board on there, and the planchette is what you usually get with, instead of a glass, you get the planchette, which is like a cross kind of thing with a middle cut out, so you could see the numbers and so forth. We all put our hands on there, and it just kept going to Philip. any question we asked kept going to Philip. I looked at Philip, he started smiling. I said, what are you smiling at? He goes, I know who this is, it's Mandy. So the person that was doing it said, can you two come off the table, because just put your hands away, so because you know who this is or whatever. And then there's asking it questions, and it goes, is this Mandy? And it went to yes, and then it went back to Philip. Does he remind you of somebody? Went to yes, then to Philip. Does it remind you of somebody nice? It said no, and then went to Philip. Said, does this person scare you? It said yes, and then just kept going to Philip like that, even though he didn't have his hand on it. Which freaked him out, but we soon got rid of her, so obviously she followed him to where we was, which he was freaked out a bit about, but yeah. And then we come away from the table then when they let her go. We wanted somebody else to do the board, Ouija board, and they had great responses on there. Like they was asking it to go round in a circle, it was going round in a circle, then they'd say turn the other way, and as soon as they said it'd do it, they were saying figure 8, and it was doing a figure 8. Really, really good stuff. So really enjoyed that one. And the fourth one was Galleries of Justice, and this was New Year's Eve. I absolutely adored this one, even though I hurt my ankle at the end of it, but I'll tell you about that at the end. This was the Galleries of Justice. This was at New Year's Eve. It's at Gloucester. It was with Fright Night, and it was £49 each, and it was 8 till 1 AM. And in this one at 12 o'clock, you all had a glass of champagne, and there was chocolates and so forth. So yeah, I love this one. First we went to the base room, had a talk with this lovely medium. I think his name was Daniel MacDonald. He is brilliant. Really liked him. He's a really nice man. We was all getting to know each other in there and so forth. And then we had the walk around. There's a few knocks and bangs. Nothing really happened. There was one girl that we found out, we went back to base after, that she fainted, but she had been fidgety all night, and also me. I don't know what it is, I just always get a pain in my shoulder blade. It's only on ghost hunting I get it. It's in like different rooms. I don't get it all the time. It's like when I go into a room I just get it. And we found out she fainted, and then we had a walk round, and of course there's all cells and everything there, so that was really good and interesting. We'd never hear anything when we were on our own, unfortunately, but after we had a look round and did vigils on our own, we was then split up into groups. The first place we went was by the cells, but it was down under somehow, and it was just a little room, and the medium was stood in the middle, and we was all round holding hands, and we was all asking for things to happen, and the medium was asking for the ghost to push us, which did happen. I was being pushed. I was being pushed that much. It kept going. I almost head-butted the medium. The girl by the side of me, also her hand just kept going up for no apparent reason, so my arm was going as well. And then he said, I want somebody to go on their own. As soon as he said that, I knew it was going to be me. Some strange reason. And he goes, yes, Kelly, it's you. He goes, do you want to do it? I goes, go on then. And we went off into this other little room. There was like a slab, and he told me to lie on it. And then he went back and joined the group, and he was asking out for things to happen, and then he shouted, are you okay? I said yes, but I'm getting, like, I was absolutely froze because it's cold there. Froze this side of my face, and this side of my face was absolutely burning. They were still calling out, but nothing else happened. And then I went back to the base room, and my face was back to normal, just cold everywhere. Excuse me. But that was a funny feeling when you're being pushed. Really, really funny. And then we went down into like a little, I don't know if it's a cellar, like a thing that was like underground. And this place was amazing. It felt, the atmosphere felt nice there. It didn't feel evil, or I don't know, just like you could giggle there. Well, I was giggling a couple of times. He was all holding hands, and again he was asking us to push us or affect us. And on that one, this girl that had fainted before, we was all holding hands, and she went straight down on her face. Again, you cannot see. If you're scared of the dark, then you do not want to go on any ghost hunts, because it is just black. It's in the dark all the time, so you got to bring your torches. Anyway, holding hands, she went flat straight on her face, and she was still holding hands with everybody. She was next to Philip, so he was like trying to hold her hand. And then I think she got up then, and then she was brought to her knees, and then Philip was brought to his knees, and then I was brought to my knees. Really, really freaky. We stood up, and then we was being pushed to the side. Like we was being pushed like so forth. Really, really strange night, and I want to go there again because it was absolutely brilliant. So that was the Galleries of Justice. And I was saying about my ankle, they said when we was walking around at the front, where you walk up the steps, where you walk into the actual place, and they said a lot of hangings and torture went out on there. And then when we come out, I was on the last step. I don't know how I did it, but Philip reckons I was pushed. But I was on the last step, and my ankle, it just felt, you felt like energy somehow. That sounds a bit strange. But yes, I twisted my ankle and absolutely killed, and I could not walk on it back to the car. It was absolutely agony, and then the next day I was, yes, loads of agony, and it bloomed up and it had black, and but I'd go again, but yeah, I'll have to be careful on the steps. Right, the fifth one was Whittingham Castle. This was Dusk Till Dawn. This is at Whittingham. £45 each. This was 8 till 2 PM. This one, not a lot really happened. Again, you have the base room, drinks, walk around. Then we had an hour and a half on our own. Nothing happened. The only thing that happened on this one is when we split into groups, we went and did the Ouija board. That was moving. I think a little girl came through, and I think she said she was happy there, but not a lot happened at Whittingham Castle at all. I don't think I'd go back to Whittingham Castle because due to not a lot happening. So that was the one I was disappointed with the most because nothing happened. So on to the sixth one. This was at Woodchester Mansion in Gloucester, and I will never ever, not if anybody paid me £1 million, I will never ever go here again. This was with Haunted Happenings. It's £55 each, and it was 9 till 5 AM. By the way, on these ghost hunts, the time goes just like that. Before you know it, the night's over and done with. But yes, Woodchester Mansion. When I got there, you have to go down a bumpy lane. Didn't feel nothing. We went in the room, like the base. Didn't feel nothing. I thought, it did look creepy, like it's derelict, it's freezing in there. I didn't think nothing much was going to happen there because I didn't feel scared at all. Then on the walk round, I was still feeling okay, and then we went into this place which was the kitchen, and as soon as I stepped foot in there, I had the pain in my shoulder. I felt sick, I felt giddy. I just I don't know, it was like there was you felt evil in there. Even that sounds stupid, but you can feel it. And it was freezing in there, then it'd go a bit warmer, then it'd go really, really cold. So I was praying to God we didn't have to go back to that kitchen. All the other places were fine, didn't have a problem with. It was just that kitchen. So back to base, cup of coffee. Then we had a walk around on our own. I think we did stumble across the kitchen, but I soon come back out again. And then split into groups. What did we do there? We did a Ouija board. I don't think anything was happening. Oh, there was on the Ouija board. The ghost went to me and said it didn't like me, which was nice. That wasn't in the kitchen, that was up in like the landing bit. And there was a girl that was being touched, but she wasn't being touched on her bum, no. She was being touched on her front bottom, as she kept saying, which is really, really freaky. That happened to her twice. Nobody else experienced anything. I think Philip felt a breeze on his hand. And then, lo and behold, where did we go? The kitchen! This was terrifying. It was dark. People were seeing things. This is the scaredest I've ever been. I even closed my eyes a couple of times because I hated it. So we was all in this circle, holding hands, calling out. Well, trying to call out. I was like, oh no! This bloke was calling out, and as he was calling out, his voice completely changed. It went really, really, really deep. And then he started choking. Like I am now, sorry. Then he started choking. So the woman told him to go, the medium told him to go and hold her hand. And his mum then moved into the place where he was. So all of a sudden somebody called and said, she's shaking. And it was his mum. We turned our torches on and she was there and she was just shaking like this. And she was like, and the medium goes to this other bloke. He was tall and he was